Hey folks, welcome to Memphis. I'm going to be experimenting with the PHLster Enigma for the next couple of weeks and months because I've been looking for a video that looks at the PHLster Enigma from a big guy's perspective, and I'm just not seeing it. Okay, I just don't see it. So I will experiment and I will contribute to the space from my perspective. But if you own an Enigma, or if you have experience with the Enigma, if you like it or you don't like it, if you're curious about it, leave me a comment down below. Let me get some feedback from you guys because, this is a two-way conversation, okay? Like, it's not just me yakking to you about stuff. I'm learning from you. So I want that feedback. I really do appreciate it. But there's no comments. I mean, I'm sorry, not comments, but there's no sponsors on this video, and that's by design because I don't want my sponsors associated with the opinions that I have here. Um, and because we're about to get real honest, okay? We're about to get really, really honest. And um, some feelings are probably going to get hurt, but it just is what it is. So let me hop right into it. The one thing that really kind of intrigued me about the Enigma is the possibility of divorcing your concealment from your clothes. I think that's a really cool thing. Like, imagine being able to hide your gun basically as well as you want to hide it. And it doesn't have anything to do with, you know, how loose your pants are or how tight your belt is, or even if you're wearing a belt. Okay. I know a lot of ladies that don't even own a belt. They don't have belts. Imagine being able to have the same level of concealment in jeans as you do in scrubs or yoga pants or gym shorts or pajamas or sweatpants or anything. I think that's to be able to conceal in those garments the same way you conceal with pants and a gun belt. I think that is special. I think that juice is worth the squeeze. So I bought one a few months ago. I originally bought it for my wife because she has belts, but they're not gun belts. They're not going to support the weight of a gun. And, I bought one for my wife because, she wears a lot of yoga pants. And, I had learned enough about other people's experience and I got enough feedback from other folks that were using it to where I thought about doing it myself. So a couple months ago, I bought one and I didn't really do a whole lot with it. I would mess with it for maybe 20 or 30 minutes and then, you know, um, probably put it in a box somewhere because I got busy or there was something else I had to do. So I went ahead and did that. But, anyways, just recently, I I got back from a couple of different classes, and in almost every class this year that I've been to, there's been someone there that was performing at a high level, and they were wearing an Enigma. And some of those guys were bigger dudes. So I've seen enough to know that yes, Enigmas do perform well with big dudes. But here's the thing that you really need to know: it's a project, okay? Like, this thing is complicated. It is not a simple, like, out of the box solution at all. And there's a ton of education about this thing that you have to get on the front end. And if that's not you, then this isn't for you. You know what I mean? If you don't like to tinker with things, I'm a dude that likes to tinker. I'm always looking for a better mousetrap. I'm always looking to build a better mousetrap. So, this right here is just an opportunity for me to learn more about how concealment works on my body. But if that's not you, if you don't have that kind of patience, or you're just not a tinkerer, or maybe the system you have already works for you, and there's no incentive for you to look for anything different, then that's fine. This thing isn't for you. Um, Most holsters are going to work on most dudes just straight out of the box. Okay, like for some people, you may need a wing. Some people may need a wedge, but mm, I want to say like 80% of folks, uh, you're going to be able to open up the box, maybe tighten up a retention screw, maybe, and you're ready to rock. Okay, some people would change out the mechanism by which the holster hangs on the belt. Like they may not like belt loops. They might want a clip, or maybe they want like some other kind of thing. But that's really all it is. This thing requires some real configuration. Okay, I would almost say you have to be mechanically inclined, but I wouldn't go that far just yet. I think most people that can work a screwdriver can get this thing together, but it takes a lot of education. It takes a ton. Now, I will say this: there are a massive amount of experts that are online waiting to help you. Okay, and I'm not talking about like chatting with some bot on Amazon, or sending an email and hoping to get an email 3 days later. No, I'm talking go onto Facebook and join the PHLster Concealment Workshop. I'm going to put a link in the description. And if you join that workshop, you're going to get help in, I'm talking like probably seconds. Okay? I'm talking seconds. Dude, like we had questions about my wife's Enigma, and in the first 10 minutes, we had like 30 comments. And it's not just comments from the peanut gallery either. We're talking about like industry experts whose job it is to make holsters and help people conceal. And a lot of these experts, like there's even owners of other holster makers that are part of this concealment workshop. There's like keepers. There's Spencer Keepers of Keepers Concealment. He owns Spencer. He owns Keepers Concealment. You got Tom Kelly that owns Dark Star Gear. You got John Mayer that owns JM Custom Kydex. You got John and Sarah Hopman that own PHLster. And these guys are super active. In minutes, maybe even seconds, you're going to get answers to your questions. Okay. The only problem is so there's not a whole lot of peanut gallery there either. The only problem with it is that there's so much information, it's easy to get overloaded. And some people just kind of throw their hands up and they give up because their perception of a holster was that I ought to be able to just crack this thing out of the box and be able to go. And that's not what this is. Okay. It's not what this is at all. Now, there are some ways that you can get a fully assembled Enigma out of the box. And the main two ways that I could think of is A, get a PHLster Enigma Express. Those ship already assembled. And then B, you can buy it from Henry Holsters. Henry Holsters will provide an upcharge to uh, to uh, to assemble the holster for you. They'll assemble the entire Enigma with the holster for you. And so that ends up being pretty helpful. You might still have to do some minor tweaks, but that gets you 90% of the way. All right, so let's see. I think that's all I really have to share right now. Let me go ahead and show you the thing, and we'll see what happens. So I did this whole thing sitting down. This whole thing was, daggum, there's somebody's car alarm going off. I hope you can ignore it. But anyways, I did this whole thing sitting down, and when I stand up, this is what my concealment looks like. I see a little bit of printing right here, just a little bit, and then you can probably see the top of the slide right here. And so this right here is what the gun looks like. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look right here, and I will show you the actual thing. I was really hoping to do all this all in one take. I don't have my video equipment because we're doing our floors this week. So all my video equipment is boxed up. So hopefully you can ignore the alarm. But here it is. This right here looks like they actually got it. So this right here is my Enigma. This is what this looks like. And what you got right here is, this is for a Glock 17. This has a Dark Star Gear Orion on it. And I also have a sports belt from PHLster. This right here is a pillow wedge from Mastermind Tactics. And it's damn near covered in moleskin because that was one of my bigger hurdles. Like this, the material that this faceplate is made out of, it's really abrasive right here at the edges. So I put some moleskin here. That's actually their recommendation. And then also this buckle right here, I probably should have gone with the low profile buckle because this thing's been rubbing me raw as well. Like there's the way that the edges are melted, it creates a lot of burrs. And so I've had to wrap this thing up in moleskin. because I typically don't wear undershirts. You know, it just, with this right here, uh, with a lot of like belly, the undershirts really just kind of get in the way of getting the gun back in the holster. I end up getting frustrated with them anyways. So let's get this thing back on me. Hopefully my beard doesn't get in the way of the microphone. Let's see here. Make sure this thing looks good. All right. Getting it on is pretty simple. Once I get it really like dialed in, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on right here at first so that you guys can see what this all looks like. Then I'll cinch it up and kind of adjust it a little bit. And so right there, that's typically where I'm going to sit it. My belly button's going to be about right here. And I still have some stuff to learn about this, okay? Because what I like is for the muzzle and this pillow wedge to sit right here on my pelvis. I don't like it too far on, you know, the crease between my thigh and my groin. It just ends up being uncomfortable. And so this right here is probably the highest it can go without printing. And so I'll show you guys what it looks like with pants on. Go ahead and finish up putting on my pants. Now, usually there's a leg leash, and you know, the leg leash, the problem I kept running into was that I would sit down, and then when I got back up, my belt would be over the Enigma like this, and I wouldn't be able to get to it. I would have to like go underneath like this, and that was just really annoying. So I know the real answer for that is to wear your gun a little bit higher like this. And what that does is it generates more of the space that I would need. And so now it's easier to get to. The problem though is still prints. So if I tighten up the belt to where it didn't print anymore, then it gets so tight that it makes it hard for me to breathe. And then everything shifts around anyways as I'm moving around the day. Like even now, as I roll my belly around, you can see that the gun has dropped down a couple, like maybe like a ½ inch. And so if we take it right here to its natural resting place, and then I put this DCC clip on here. And here's the cool thing about the Enigma. My concealment doesn't depend on how tight my belt is, because the Enigma, the chassis, has its own belt. So this right here can be just as tight as comfort dictates, and I would still have adequate concealment. Now, normally I wouldn't wear such a shirt that's such a plain, bright color. Normally I would wear shirts that are more prints, that are darker. Like I might wear a lot of Aloha shirts, but this right here is the level of concealment that I'm looking at. And let's say I have a target over here. As a matter of fact, let me back up a little bit so that you can see me all in one shot. And you can see all the stuff. And oh, look, there's a target. I'm still able to draw the gun and in a satisfactory manner. I can still holster it just as well. From this angle, you can see the same thing. I'm sitting here hanging out and oh, look, there's a target. And so I'm able to draw, I'm able to holster, and I'm able to holster in a way that's very safe. Let's try over here, get this angle. Able to draw very quickly, and then holster safely. Okay. So how this works with sitting, it feels okay. Like just sitting down, I can feel the back of the slide kind of hitting me, and there's a little bit of adjustment, but other than that, even after the adjustment, it's not printing too much. I really don't see any printing at all. Let's do the whole wave thing. If I go this way, you could probably see a little bit of printing. So far, it feels good. I haven't had any problems with it. Now, sometimes I will say that sometimes what will happen is this valley right here in between the grip and this part of the Enigma. If you can see this moleskin right here, like this little region right here, what will happen is the gun will it'll gradually move over here throughout the course of the day. And what that does is it it doesn't give me enough clearance for my hand to get there. So I haven't really found a solution to that just yet. So I'm still working on that. And then also sometimes I want to say maybe 2 times out of 5, maybe 4 times out of 10, what'll end up happening is as I sit down, this the back of the slide right here will pinch right here. And I'm still trying to find a solution to that. Normally the solution would be move the gun up just a little bit, but what happens is I end up with some printing. And so what I may have to do is tighten up the belt, and it's just a pain for me to tighten up the belt. Like I could probably cinch it down over here on this side, and let's see how that works. Let's see here. Yeah. So most holsters that operate based solely on the belt and how tight the pants are, what you would do is you would just cinch down the belt. But I really don't want to, I don't want to have to deal with, it is what it is. Just have a stiffer belt. But if I could do something like this, where, you know, it doesn't really depend on the belt, then I don't know. That might could work. So let's see here, and then pull it back up just a little bit to where now it's tighter. All right. So like I said, it's a lot of adjustment. There's like, I think there's 6 holes on each side. Yeah, there's 6 holes on each side, both on the left and the right, where you can make adjustments. And like I said, it's a lot. It's a lot to have to deal with. So, but once you dial it in, the results speak for themselves. Let's see. I think we're going to be okay. Alrighty. So now, and we're still printing. so what I do is I kind of pull it down just a little bit, just enough, and then what happens is, all right, it didn't happen that time, but I felt like it probably could have happened. But now, if I stand up again, I'm still good. There's still a little bit of printing right here and a little bit of printing right here. But then when I sit down again, everything's fine. Like if I was driving, then, and I was driving with people that I actually like know, then I could probably make some adjustments. Let's see. Yeah, the back of the slide is really giving me the most trouble right now. And like like I said, there's a lot of stuff that I still don't know about this thing. So anyways, let's see. Leave me some comments down below. Let me know what you think about this type of thing. Okay. Once again, I apologize for the long format. This kind of sucks, but if you could bear with me, that'd be great. Leave me a comment down below about whether or not you actually have tried the Enigma or if you're curious about it. But yeah, let me know. Thanks for watching. Welcome to Memphis.